Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be solving this very important problem, that is flatten JSON. This we will solve this in PySpark. So the input is a JSON file and we need to convert this in the tabular format. So if you see this course type, the key is course type and the target is a string data type, right? So we have the direct column name and the value. Similarly, if you see institute name, the key institute name is here as a column, and the value as is a string data type, right? So we have the value directly. But if you say this column or this key branches, the value is an array, and in that array also we have dict, or you can say that struct data type in it, right? In PySpark we call this as a struct data type, that I will show you in the hands-on session, right? So we need to convert, like here in the struct also, we need to convert these columns, or we can say that these keys into a column. So if you see here in branches, we have state. So we have state here as a column. Similarly, city, we have city, address, we have address, right? So we need to convert this into this, right? So this is the task for this problem. So how we can solve this? So in PySpark, we have one function called explode, right? So what it does, it takes an array as input and convert that array in this formats, right? That we will see how we can achieve this. And I will tell you one formula using which like you can convert any of these JSON into this tabular format, right? That we will see. Now here we are in our Jupyter notebook. So here I have imported, or you can say that Spark session I have created. Similarly, uh, this is the Spark session, right? Now we have this JSON file, right? The same JSON file which I showed you in the Excel. So the name of the JSON file is JSON underscore data. We need to import this data and convert this in a tabular format, or you can say that we need to flatten this. So let's import this. So I will give the name as DFJSON, and we'll use spark dot read dot, we need to give the format. So format would be JSON, right? And then dot load, and the name of the file was JSON data, right? And then we need to just print this, right? df dot df json dot so. Let's check. So we should get an error. Why we will get error, that you need to comment in the comment box. So this will give error, right? See, now we got this error. So if you see this, the reason basically we cannot read multiple line JSON, right? We cannot read multiple line JSON directly. We need to specify that in options. So if you see here, this is a multi-line JSON, right? This is a multi-line JSON. So we need to inform Spark, hey, we are reading a multi-line JSON. So we need to specify that explicitly. The default, by default, it doesn't read multi-line JSON. So multi-line comma true. We need to like specify that we are reading an multi-line JSON. So that's why this option multi-line is equal to true. And let's print it again. Now we should get the data. Okay. Now we got the data. So if you see here, like for the key where the value is directly a string data type or a number or a float data type, we we are directly getting the values, right? We are directly getting the key and values. So if you see here, course type is a string and the value is also string. So that course type becomes a column, and the like the key and the value becomes the row value, right, in the tabular format. So that thing we are achieving here, right? So if you see course type, we are directly getting similar. So let's understand how we got this using the schema, right? Using the schema. So let's print the schema. Okay, okay. And we are like, this is getting truncated. So what we can do, we can use the truncate equal to false, right? We don't want to truncate the data. Okay. Now we can see the entire data properly. So if you see here, this course type, this is of string type, right? And we are directly getting the key as a column name and value as a um, the value, right? Similarly, if you see head office contact, it is directly a key value pair. So in a string format, or we can say that it is a long, right? So the here we have not specified any schema, so it is like using the default in for schema, and it is inferring this as a long, right? Similarly, institute name, this is also a string, so we are directly getting. But if you see here, branch, the data type of the value is array. So here also you can see this is an array, right? And in that array also we have a struct, that is this one. So as I mentioned, these dictionaries which we call in Python, here it is struct, right? Struct data type. And in that struct also we have city and state and the address. These are what? These are in a string format, right? We need to achieve, we need to like drill down these things in a separate columns, right? So let's start. So let's import. Okay, we will import whatever we will require later. So as I mentioned, we will be using explode function, right? Explode function. So for converting this array value in a different rows, right? So let's do that. So df exploded, right, is equal to df json dot select, and we need to write the columns which we want. So let's select this column, and so these are direct columns, right? The value is still by itself, it is a string or a normal data type, right? Not a array or a struct data type. So we need to explode this column. So let's write explode, and we need to pass this. So call this column. Okay. So since we are using explode and call, so we need to import these. So from where we will import? From PySpark dot SQL dot functions, right? Import explode and call, right? Let's run this. Let me print this, what we are getting over here. Okay, explode is not defined. Okay, so I have not ran this. I need to run this first and then here. Okay, now you can see that we have two rows now. We have two rows. Why two rows? Because if you see here in this array, we had two records, this record and then this record. So what explode does, it create a single record for each and every value. Got it? So let me explain you over here. So let's say if I have an array where um, where the values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and let me increase the size. So what explode does, let me bring this grid lines. Okay, so what explode does, if we, let's say the name of this is a, so what explode does, if we do explode of a, it will convert this in an one single value array, like rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the output of explode. I think you are getting. So similar fashion, here also we are getting the data. So each of these values are getting converted in a single row, right? So here you can see this is one row, this is second row, right? And let's give here also truncate equal to false. Then we can see the entire data properly. Now you can see here, right? So what is the next step? Now we have like reached till this point. Now we need to like convert these key into columns. How we can do that? So this is the formula here. Whenever you see an array, right? Whenever you see an array, what you need to do? You need to use the explode function, and whenever see whenever you see a struct data type, use column name column name dot star. Okay, column name dot star. I will show you how we can achieve this. So here if you see, these values are what? These values are key value pair. It is a struct data type, right? You can see here, right? This is a struct data type. So what we can do directly here in the next step, let's copy these things. Let's copy these things and explode it, and let's give the name this as um, struct, right? Exploded and struct. So the input would be this, right? The name of the JSON is this, like df exploded, and then select these. We want this column, this column, this column. Okay, so here the column name is call. So instead of call, let's alias this. Let's alias this as we can say branch data, right? Data, branch data, and let's run this. Okay, now you can see that the column name is branch data, right? So explode, we need to like do this struct column name dot star. So for which column we need to do? We need to do for this branch data dot star, right? So we can write branch data dot star, right? Because this column is of type struct, right? This column is of type struct that we saw over here, right? So let's run this. Let me print this dot so. Okay, now you can see we got the our required output. So if you see here in the first record, if you see, we have bestseller, and then this data we have like the contact detail and then institute name, and in here like this record you can see Mumbai, Maharashtra and XYZ, right? Mumbai, Maharashtra and XYZ. All these things got converted in a individual column. Similarly for the second record also, right? So we have drilled down this thing to like we converted a string JSON into a tabular format, right? So like if you remember this formula, you can like convert any kind of JSON into a this tabular format, right? So yeah, if you like this content, please do like, subscribe, and share the channel. So on this channel, you can find a lot of interview related playlist on SQL, PySpark, Python, Pandas, DSA problem. So you can do check out, and let's meet in the next problem. Until then, bye bye.